All right. Really appreciate you all showing up today. We had our typical Tuesday practice. I thought our kids really answered the bell from yesterday's practice. We didn't practice very well yesterday, and our leadership really showed up, and our kids had a lot of enthusiasm. Coaches had a lot of energy, which is to be expected, and I just really appreciate our team for responding to having a bad practice to turn this practice into one of our best that we've had this year. It's going to take a team effort in all three phases. Southern poses a lot of different issues on both sides of the ball. They're very well coached. They play extremely hard. Offensively, they make you defend the entire field with a lot of their bubbles and screen game and quick game in the passing game, and then they got very serviceable running backs. They got a big pounder, and they also got two smaller guys they run like pounders, but they also add value in the passing game. Then their O-line is very stout. They're doing a good job, and they played two really tough opponents in Boise State and Ole Miss. So statistically, things may not look like they have a very good defense, but they really do. They really fly around. I mean, we talk about Ole Miss being one of the top teams in the country and how they competed and were in the game on the road. That speaks volumes on their preparation, and we got our work cut out for us from that standpoint. So they bring a lot of pressure, change up their looks. You can really see that they're dialed into the scheme that they're running, and they got a very good check system once you check on offense. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Obviously, you've got the UConn game later in the season, but if we can call the first three games the non-con portion of your schedule, what have you learned about your team?
They're very resilient. You can kind of see the leadership and just the connection that we've been preaching from spring ball through summer camp, through fall camp, and how that kind of has transpired. There's a group that really listens. They really accept challenges. Certain guys got kind of the pulse of the team, and the rest of the guys that are kind of learning, they're really responding to those leaders on our team. So just proud of the growth that we've had. We're still a team in progress from a growth standpoint because we're still not where we need to be from a schematic standpoint in all three phases. We're continuing to build our foundation from that standpoint, but we're just continuing to grow. But I can say that our team is very connected, and they love each other, and they play very, very hard for one another.
You mentioned over here, Coach. You mentioned in the teleconference and the teleconference for the Sun Belt yesterday about Southern having maybe better conditioning coming off of a game, that Ole Miss game. You guys coming off of a bye. How do you compensate for that with these weaker practices coming off of the bye and getting ready for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, we really tried to attack it last week with a lot of more conditioning last week, and then just how we practice this week as far as the game speed, practice speed, making sure that we're transitioning from drill to drill, covering down offense and defensive lines, coming out the stack. So just how we practice the rest of this week is very important to get back a little bit of that game conditioning. You really can't really get that back. So it's always that first series is going to feel like, oh, my goodness, we're back to playing. And then after that, they'll settle down, and, the weather's going to be nice. It's not going to be really hot. Hopefully the hurricane will get on up out of here, and we have a great day of football.
And you mentioned having to allow some players to get healthier. Just a status update on guys like Justin Abraham and some other guys that have been dinged up over these past few weeks and their status for Saturday.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged by today. IG is another one. They look like they'll be ready to go for Saturday, so just got to make sure we finish the right way and continue to get treatment and maximize our recovery. But Justin and IG should be back. To what percent, I'm not sure, but they were out today in their starting spots.
You said there was Monday practice wasn't great, but the Tuesday one today was much better. Was that a coach thing? Did you guys have to grab them, or did the players, the leaders, kind of police themselves like you've talked about? And
Yeah, I challenged our leadership group after practice yesterday, and like I said, they responded and they got the message across to the rest of the team. So proud of those guys for getting the team working in the right direction, and we had the right type of practice today.
You watched the game with the team. Did the guys watch the game last week, Georgia Southern's game, together?
Oh no, they were off. So some guys went home. Some guys were just at their homes, and no, we didn't watch it together. But we're watching it as the week progresses, and it's just not that game. They got numerous games on the slate that like I said, they pose a lot of different problems. They're very sound, well coached, and they got a lot of staff cohesion. So they understand exactly what they're doing in all three phases, and we got to make sure that we're on top of our game in all three phases.
Back with the injuries the last game, you had Isaiah go out in the middle of the game. You had Alec Johnson leave, and you had Shams and Mason step up in those roles. I guess it's always a next man up mentality, but there's no guarantee that they meet the moment. It seems like they kind of did last Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah, that's right. We got a next man up mentality, and that's why we practice the way we do, because we want to make sure we're developing our entire roster, because we don't have a crystal ball and can't predict the future when guys go down. So we're not going to create any excuses. I feel like all of our 2s and 3s get ample work from a physical and mental standpoint. So it's just like scenarios in the game. We cover a lot of different scenarios that we may not practice, but we mentally go over things through film study. And sometimes you got to bring that situation back to fruition and execute it without actually doing a physical rep of that situation. So, I'm just proud of our guys for those guys that stepped up in that game to play to their potential. And, they still left some things out there, and, we're still a work in progress, like I said, but I'm proud of where we are right now, and just really excited for the opportunity to play in this game.
Coach, so can you take us behind the scenes into what this bye week was like for you? Like behind the scenes, like what's your family, how did you enjoy it?
We really wasn't a whole lot of downtime. Like I said, we was working our entire roster, working on ourselves, and then I went out recruiting Thursday, Friday, got back Saturday morning. So our entire staff, I was in Fort Lauderdale and Miami this weekend at 2 games, and saw some of our commits down in South Florida, and all of our coaches were out on the road Thursday, Friday, basically. So not so much family time. Then I watched football all day Saturday, got a chance to get a nap, which was much needed, and I went back to work on Sunday. So just typical times right now. And my son, he went home. He didn't want me to come home. He wanted to spend some time with his mom. So that allowed me to kind of take a nap and just watch football. Otherwise, I'd have been with them. So it was good for me.
So with the announcement that the game was going to be changing from modern day hate to the Georgia Grown Bowl, can you give us your commentary on the change?
I think it's a wonderful change. I don't know about the hate part of it, but just having Georgia Grown, which is the #1 state producer of economy here in our state, and able to bridge the gap between agriculture and the city of Atlanta, and having Commissioner Harper bring this game to both universities, I think is an outstanding deal. A trophy will be involved with the game, and someone's going to have bragging rights for 364 days. So I think it's a great thing for the city of Atlanta and both universities. And, that decision to change the game is definitely an administrative decision. And, I support both administrations for making this happen.
Should have been many in attendance this week. After the Vanderbilt game, I'm just kind of casual on social media, and I can see a lot of people who have been or is going to come to visit reacting to that. Talk about what that did.
It doesn't do anything long term, but short term, and we want to try to get guys that fit our culture and fit academically, fit socially. And play the style of football that we want to see played on Saturdays here. So, it's a recruiting process, but we're also evaluating recruits when they come on campus. So it's kind of a twofold deal. We never stop recruiting. Just the way I've been in that process is just a continual thing, and you either recruit or you lose because recruiting is the bloodline of any football program, and there's a standard to be met. And just working with my old boss, if you couldn't recruit, you're gonna get fired. So we kind of got that same philosophy here, and all of our coaches are accepting that challenge of making sure they're evaluating, not only the football side, but who they are as a person, academic status, how they fit in our program. So it's just not from a football standpoint. It's really all facets. I mean, we really want outstanding citizens, guys that care about academics, care about their 50-year plan, and then the football part will take care of itself. And then you got to get those elite traits. Got to get big people up front on both sides of the ball. That's where it all starts. We're still got a ways to go from that standpoint, and we're going to try to address that as the season progresses and see what happens with the transfer portal moving forward. And you can't negate elite speed, so we're looking for those elite characteristics on the football field, but also they got to have the things off the field that warrant a well-connected football team.
Coach, circling back here, coming into practice today, you can't help but hear you on the PA system. Where did that technique come from as far as you being on the PA? Because I don't think I've been to many practices. I don't think I've seen it in that approach from the head coach. Where did that come from, and how do you come to use that approach?
Well, the last 9 years I've heard the microphone at the place I worked at last with Coach Smart, and I would say that I'm not as animated or aggressive on the microphone as my former boss, but it serves its purpose. It's more so just make sure we're organized, make sure you're re-emphasizing the things that need to be re-emphasized. So those were great times at Georgia, listening to Coach Smart on that microphone. I could write a book about some messages, very entertaining stuff, but unless you were on the bad end of that microphone. So he didn't hold anything back from players, coaches, or anything, but much love to Coach Smart with the mic.
Do you have to watch yourself and your language and maybe your tone? Because it's out there.
No, I'm not a language guy. I try not to curse. I try not to. I try to make sure the message is right. But, the players can't confuse the message with the tone. So the tone is the message or the tone setter, but it's not the words that's coming out. It's really the tone of the message. As long as the kids understand and the coaches understand that part of it, then I think everyone kind of complies.
Coach Smart, know you're using that?
I didn't tell them, no. I told them I would never use it, and I had to because our stadium's so big, it's hard to communicate to everyone. So it's a necessity in my mind.
Open field tackling was something that stood out to me when I went back and watched the film. What some of the key things that popped out to you watching the film, and the things that you want to translate over to this one?
Open field tackling with what? With
for state, just y'all.
Yeah, they like I said, they make you defend the entire field. They run screens. They have quick game where the quarterback gets the ball out very fast. I mean, so we got to make sure block destruction is, and we leverage the football in the right manner. But yeah, we got to come out the stack from a defensive line perspective and pursue the football. They got really good skill guys, and they do a great job on the perimeter with their skill guys blocking. And they got a lot of gimmicks off of those plays. So got to have great eye discipline this week defensively and try to minimize the explosive plays that they can create. And they also add in a lot of tempo with their offense. So they're doing a great job on offense on making you defend the entire field and changing up tempo and keeping you on your toes.
For this game, I know it's a rivalry. Last week we talked about after the game that you wish that the fans came out a little bit more. What would be your message to the students for this upcoming game, knowing how important it is for just the state of Georgia?
I don't think I have to send out a message about that. I think both universities are well aware. I know, Southern's going to bring a crowd here, and I think we'll have a great crowd. And I think it also helps that Georgia's in Tuscaloosa, so I think there'll be some added fans because of that fact, because Tuscaloosa's not going to let the entire Georgia fan base go to that game. So, and then the Georgia fans will have time to come to our game and then watch their game at night. So, I think it'll be a great atmosphere.
One of the things I'm sure you want to clean up, some of the big plays in the passing game defensively. Where does the work to kind of clean that up start? Is it on the practice field thing? Is it in the film room, or is it just going out there on the field and executing in the moment?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. You gotta make sure your eyes are correct. Like I talk about, eye discipline has got to be very, very keen this week because of all the deceptives that Southern runs. But it starts in practice, giving the guys the right looks, and then also translating those looks into the film room and just studying the keys to the test. And we can understand the keys and the clues to the test before they happen, then it gives you a bigger advantage. But everything starts and ends with how we practice, how we do things, and we're going to expose our guys to, everything from the last 3 to 4 years that they've done.
What did you learn from your time in Georgia Southern, and how did that make you a better coach and kind of advance you to where you are now?
At Southern, worked with Coach Willie Fritz, great friend, great mentor. So really learned a lot about special teams and the importance of being a head coach that's involved with special teams. Running the football was something that we did at a high rate and high success rate while we were there. I don't miss the Nats in Statesboro, but it was a great time there, and that was our first time being in FBS, and we had a chance to win a Sun Belt title. And that's kind of the message I'm telling our guys that been there before, and that's the goal, and it starts this week because we have a Sun Belt East team, and got to play well.
Xavier's coming in here in a minute. What could you say about him and his progress and how he's looking as a player so far?
Yeah, he's really done an outstanding job of accepting the challenge, learning the defense, providing a lot of leadership by how he plays. He's also vocal when he needs to be. So really pleased and happy for him. Like I've said in previous press conferences, he has a distinct why, and it's very telling. And I'm just glad that we're a part of his vision and what his why is, and just really proud of him and need him to have another outstanding performance for us to have a chance to be successful in this game.